It's way too much damage.
What? What the block?
He fell charged.
and he found
wow.
Wow.
Oh, what? He gets out!
Somewhere there's a covert muffin just applauding this seed.
Holy crap.
Oh man, this is gonna come down to execution in the final escape, isn't it?
Sure is.
Every seed
Our
does.
favorite phrase.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer Tournament 2021. Today, we have for you a match from the upper bracket round 3, and our runners for this race will be Shayfe versus Appietreee. My name is Turtle, I'll be joining you on comms today, and alongside me is Liftoff. Hey man, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Turtle?
Oh, I am absolutely excited as we get further into the upper bracket, seeing these really high execution runners face off against each other like we are about to see today.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be an extremely fun match to watch. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. We've had the opportunity to talk with our runners a little and ask them what they think about the seed, what they're hoping for. Apple has told us that she's feeling quite nervous. She says that Shayfe knows more about Rando and has better execution than her, but nevertheless, she's going to try her best, and she's going to hope to put on a good show. She's had a couple of interesting and interesting and weird starts in practice, and thinks another one of those might be, if not fun to play, then at least interesting to watch, and would be willing to make the sacrifice for content, which is something we definitely appreciate. And the one thing that she's desperately hoping for is to have an easy traversal in Sorrow, because lately she's been having trouble with using controller, which is her input method of choice, when doing a trick known as Zombie Ori. So fingers crossed that we either get Glide or the Sorrow teleporter and don't have to use that trick quite as much as you might have to in other seeds. What can you tell us about Shayfe? What has he told you when you spoke with him, Turtle?
Yeah, so first off, let's note that Shayfe is playing on keyboard and mouse. It's a little bit of an advantage in certain types of seeds. However, we've made it so that they're pretty balanced, as we'll hopefully be able to see throughout this race. Shayfe in this seed is hoping to hopefully get some power skills early on, one if not two of them, because he thinks that his amazing execution will let him just fly through the seed with something like bash, dash, or charge jump very early. Shayfe is looking into this bracket a little bit nervous because there aren't many safe matches left for him. He knows that he's going to be going up against some tough opponents, but he thinks that's going to give him a boost in execution, just because he's on edge, trying to focus, making sure he's doing everything as best as he can. So we are going to give our runners a quick 1 minute heads up before we do begin this race.
One thing that's notable about the upcoming race is that this is not going to be the box standard rando seed you've maybe seen in a couple of other matches, but this is actually has two additional flags: wall starved and grenade starved. So we're going to get into what they mean in detail a little later, but basically it means that both the skill grenade and the skills wall jump and climb are way less likely to be in the first pickups. We'll see. If that doesn't mean that it is definitely possible for them to pick up wall jump and grenade in the first two skills, just that it's less likely. But it's definitely happened before. So we'll see if the CGen feels like respecting our runners' wishes today, or if it's just going to say, you know what, no, here's wall jump, here's grenade, and the next skill comes in 30 minutes. We'll just have to see. But with all that said, as we're counting our runners down, Turtle, what do you think is going to be the first, let's not say first pickup, because that's probably just a keystone. What do you think is going to be the first progression item that we're going to see this seed?
I personally really hope that it's a teleporter of some sort. seeing our runners with very few skills in some of the later areas of the game can be really, really interesting. What about you, Liftoff? You thinking of anything?
Yeah, like Swamp TP looking pretty good right now, I think. Definitely enjoy that. Just send our runners around the map a little before anything concrete happens. It's not the most fun to play, but it's definitely fun to watch if that happens.
Yeah, and we are seeing a little bit of good luck on your rando spam from Apple.
And
also, yeah, behind that rando spam is Charge Jump, which both Shayfe and Appietreee now have. This feels pretty standard for both Wallstar seeds as well as this tournament. It's a very powerful skill which both of our runners will be glad to have, and we'll see them use it to just launch themselves up in the air, gaining a good amount of verticality, and it also does quite a bit of damage.
One very small diversion we've seen is that Shayfe actually picked up the 9 XP that the first Rhino drops. This is going to make it easier for him to go directly into Blackroot Burrows, which he can do, which would definitely be an aggressive play. And this helps on the experience if that's what he's going to do. We'll see.
Yeah, I definitely like that play from Shayfe. Not having any ability cells when you go to that cutscene can be really, really sad because you just got to watch it. You can't skip it without leveling up using a save anywhere. And so all you can do is just kind of say, well, shucks, I wish I would have gotten some more EXP. But Shayfe does find an ability cell. That won't be a problem for him anymore. And Apple will also quickly find that.
He did find a keystone to the right of spawn, which is maybe also why he didn't go for Blackroot. Oh, and he takes a death. Checking fake flippers. That's going to put him behind a solid minute or so.
Yeah, we are seeing similar routing from both runners. Shayfe just decided not to save. Was very confident. Unfortunately, that is a difficult trick with 3 health. And so he's going to just grab 1 ability cell. Again, that's all he needs to be able to skip that cutscene at the beginning of Blackroot. And he, as well as Apple, are both heading into this area, looking for progression, as well as they're going to grab the dash tree along the way.
Yeah. Shayfe only picked up what he definitely needed on the second revisit, which means he has caught up time. Along with some cleaner movement, he's barely behind at this point. But it should be noted that Apple does have more ability cells than Shayfe, so that might come into play somewhere along the line. And there's a second energy for runners. That's always very nice. They don't have any skills yet that use energy, but it allows them to save their game more often. In Ori, you have to save manually, and everything that you get without saving and then die is gone. So having more energy just to play saves, especially in Blackroot Burrows, which is an area where you can take a couple of unintentional deaths, is definitely always welcome.
Yeah, we saw both of our runners drop an energy before jumping over that spike pit. It actually does 3 damage this early in the game, and our runners only have 3 health. Luckily, no one fell in. But we are also seeing energy regeneration for both runners. That's a little bit slow, but over time that will let them gain more energy, which will let them to save more, or if they need to, use it for something like Charge Dash or Charge Flame, potentially.
Yeah, here we can see that as another small route divergence. Shayfe used that charge jump to backtrack back up, while Apple warped out and came back from spawn. Going back up is slightly faster, so we see Shayfe take a little bit of a lead in this auto-scroller room, but not too much, so this is still anybody's game. It's still very early days.
Yeah, there's not a lot our runners can do to speed up this section of Blackroot. It's very much just waiting on platforms as they slowly float through the air. You have to wait on them because, well, if you don't wait on them, the next one won't show up. Oh, but as they get down and back into some sections where they're able to move again, Shayfe does some blind movement behind some crushers and finds for his troubles clean water.
That's a very interesting pickup. It means that all water areas on the map are now accessible to them. They don't have to do any damage boosts to get through them, and it crucially also means that they need way less health, because there is a poison swim in the final escape that if you don't have clean water, you need at a very minimum 5 health to do that. And so this, I think, is both our runners are going to be happy to find that pickup.
Yeah, and it being dash locked means, well, dash could still be in a variety of places. Dash won't be anywhere underwater. So if they are really checking for that dash pickup in particular, they have quite a few less locations that they will have to look through in order to find it.
Definitely a good point. And the experience we found underwater was 99 experience. That's not a small number, but it's also not huge. So I think if I had to guess, I would say that Dash is probably somewhere in the middle of the progression chain of the seed.
Ooh, and as our runners progress down into this Indiana Jones area, Shayfe does find his next skill, which is Charge Flame. With some keystones that he does know where they are, that will allow him to get into Glades and probably grab the Charge Jump tree pretty early on.
Charge Flame, I think you mean.
Yeah, sorry, that's you're correct. Thank you.
Talking hard. Yeah, I would assume he's heading over to Glades now. Picked up that one keystone from earlier that he lost to his death. Good job on him for remembering that. And now he's entering Glades now. While the door is opening, he's dipping back underwater. He knows that that's 99 XP over there. Not super interesting. Checking this pickup, which comes into logic with clean water. 97 experience. Good to have, but not exactly what he's looking for. And now he's heading into the Sunken Glades, the first area of the vanilla game. Normally the first area check, and definitely a very dense area with checks. And he's immediately heading over and finding energy cell among energy cell, and approaching a second tree in the form of the Charge Flame tree.
Yeah, Apple, on the other side, is making her way into this area. Takes a couple of weird deaths to some Crusher hitboxes. Those can just be a little bit random and awkward, and just decide to kill Ori for no reason. But Apple's pushing on, gets to this mapstone, as well as getting her Charge Flame. So we'll see her quickly progress in the same direction as Shayfe right now, although possibly going to the wall jump tree at a different time, earlier or later than the Charge Flame tree.
Somewhat interestingly, that Charge Flame that our runners both found is actually not in logic, because that movement across the top of the Crushers that they did before it is not in standard logic. So I think there has to be some form of progression in Glades. It might even be Dash, which would put that progression into logic again, because then you could just go under the Crushers. It could also be wall interaction though, because then you could just go over the top. Either way, either would be enough to put Charge Flame back into logic.
Yeah, interestingly, again, our runners are playing on a wall-starved seed, and while that doesn't mean they won't find wall interaction, it makes logic try to put both climb and wall jump later on into the seed, especially avoiding the first 40 pickups. So they could still find it right here. Sometimes you just get like a first pickup wall jump, and it's like, okay, I guess I didn't roll wall starved then, but it's just more likely that they'll find it later on.
Yeah. Meanwhile, both of our runners have picked up 5 energy cells. Shayfe has used that. Shayfe has used 4 of those energy to open the 4 energy door to an area we call the Death Gauntlet to the right of spawn. He can't go through there just yet, but now he can. There's double jump. That's wall interaction, kind of. And also just a very nice skill to have. It just augments basically everything that Ori can do and just makes movement feel so much nicer. I think Shayfe is definitely going to be glad to have it, and Apple is just on his heels going to be picking that up momentarily.
Yeah, our runners are definitely both experienced enough to know how to use double jump as wall interaction, but it's not easy, especially on the hands. If you are using double jump wall interaction repeatedly for a good chunk of the seed, it can start to tire you out very, very quickly, unfortunately for our runners.
Another thing that we kind of glossed over that was in Spirit Caverns was the Grotto Teleporter. So that gives logical access to the right side of the map, which they already had. They could have taken Charge Jump and Charge Flame on top of the Spider Sack, but I think given the skill set they have, both of our runners are going to be taking the more aggressive play towards Grotto, which is a denser area and has a tree in it. So finding the Grotto Teleporter and knowing you don't have to go across the top is just always nice.
Yeah, and speaking of trees, Shayfe is coming up on the wall jump tree right here, which is his third tree, which means it'll be his first clue to the hint of one of the locations of the... Oh, his hint is for the Gumon seal, and even worse, it's on map stones. That tells him very, very little, aside from the fact that SpeedGen is being a little bit of a jerk today. Oof.
Yeah, mapstone clues are generally pretty bad, but fortunately in this case, it's for the Gumon seal, which we probably don't need. So I don't think our runners are going to be too bothered about that. I'm sure they would have rather seen a clue for a water vein or a sunstone, but it is what it is. And at least those aren't on a mapstone yet. I mean, they could still be. We'll see.
A triple mapstone seed would be an absolute treat for us as viewers. Our runners might not like that as much, but it's all about content, isn't it?
Yeah. Shayfe has taken the double jump wall interaction we were talking about earlier and has entered the Death Gauntlet. There's a couple of checks in there he can make, including a 4 energy door underwater. Very heads up play. It's easy to forget that one, but with clean water and 4 energy, it is actually in logic. And he can approach the Grotto Teleporter. Yeah, he has it already, so he wouldn't even have needed to touch that one. But he does anyway. He's now checking a couple of pickups here in Grotto, and he finds Glide. This Glide is great. Just lets you stay in the air for longer, and as we may remember earlier, Apple wanted an easier Sorrow traversal. That's a pickup that I think she's definitely going to check, and that's going to fulfill her wish in that regard.
Yeah, and considering that our runners did find the Grotto TP earlier, that Glide is in logic for them. It doesn't actually get them too many pickups without either left side access or a pickup called Wind Restored. But again, it's very nice to have, and with that being in logic, they know that they can very, very quickly, if they want to, do Sorrow once they get access to it.
Yeah. Well, here we can see Shayfe's really aggressive play, just heading towards trees wherever possible, going through, using that double jump wall interaction again to go through the lower swamp entry into swamp, and now he's closing in on the double jump tree. This is going to be his 4th tree, and after that I think he's going to head down into Grotto. Everything else would surprise me a lot. Apple seems to be on his heels, but she's only checking. Let's see if she's only checking these pickups or if she's continuing through. I think she's continuing through. So we've seen very similar routing from both our runners so far. Just Shayfe pulling a little bit ahead. Maybe has a minute advantage at this point through slightly cleaner execution. And he finds the Sunstone. That's great.
Ooh, absolutely. Hopefully, Appietreee will find that as well, as that is one of the required pickups. She did skip the Glide pickup.
And
oh my goodness.
Swamp is definitely the place to be, I guess. That's huge.
That's absolutely hilarious.
That means that he only needs one more skill beside Grenade, I guess. And I think this could be go mode for Shayfe. This could be a very, very fast seed.
Yeah, notably, the thing that he did to get the water vein was a Charge Flame redirect, which is a pretty difficult trick to get. But Shayfe nailed it, and that allowed him to break the floor that you'd usually need Stomp for in order to get into that area earlier, and of course grab the water vein, a very, very good pickup that our runners need to grab at some point.
Let's hope that Apple is going to do the same trick once she gets there, or otherwise this could be a massive advantage for Shayfe, that she's going to have trouble recovering.
Yeah. We are still seeing Shayfe check some pickups, might be looking for more health or ability cells, or again, another power skill like Bash or Dash that will just, even though he can probably do a lot, it'll smooth out his run quite a bit.
Apple has skipped the water vein. That
Yeah.
is potentially very bad for her.
She doesn't have the hint for it. That might be on either the 6th or 9th tree she gets. And that pickup being left out there is a bit orphaned, and will probably be one of the later things that she checks when going back to Swamp, unfortunately. So her missing that is quite a deficit, unfortunately, as we see both runners going down to Gumbo's hideout. Just one with the water vein, one without.
She also didn't check Glide on the way up. So this is definitely... So Shayfe is definitely opening up a lead. And yeah, it's not insurmountable. It's not impossible that Apple comes back from this, but Shayfe is definitely in the driver's seat at this point.
Yeah, and again, Shayfe is still checking pickups, finding quite a bit of health and energy. He's definitely going to be glad to have all that, maybe less so the experience, but just being able to tank your way through damage boosts, and to be able to save wherever you want, and to be able to have ability cells to level up things like Sense or Ultra Defense. Just all of those cell pickups are huge, huge helps to his being able to just zip through the rest of the seed.
Definitely. Though we have seen him circle his keystone count a number of times already, so I think he might be a little low on those. He's definitely hoping to find a couple more of those. He's definitely going to need 4 more to do the Ginso tree, and probably 4 more to do Sorrow Pass. And 2 more to do the double jump tree.
Ooh, great points there. Yeah, there are dupes for most of the keystone doors in this game. Some of them are very fast. Some of them are very not fast. So we'll see if Shayfe can find his keystones as he searches the world, or if instead he's going to have to do one of those dupes. He's a skilled runner, very skilled runner, so he'll know them. Hopefully he'll pick out one of the faster ones to just get him a few more keystones quick and easy without a ton of hassle.
And I like that play from Shayfe just now. He did find a health cell down in the vault, but he was like, I have clean water. It doesn't really make a difference if I'm on 7 or on 8 health. And he recognized that that's unlikely to make a difference. So he just safe scummed all the lower pickups and spared himself the trip back. Definitely a heads up play. And a nice optimization on his routing.
Yeah, very quickly destroying this mini-boss with a combination of Charge Flame redirects and Charge Jump. That'll let him get this pickup. Not always checked. In this case, it is going to be a keystone that looks like what he wants. And, in addition, he starts to level up his purple tree towards Sense. This is a very interesting play, and we'll see if it pays off for him, because Sense will let him find nearby important pickups, just by turning Ori a slightly different color as he walks by.
Yeah, it definitely allows you to zero in on important items without actually having to collect everything. Definitely very helpful. And yeah, given the amount of health that Shayfe already has, it's unlikely that he's going to need Ultra Defense, which is the capstone of the blue tree. So I think this is definitely an interesting play that I definitely understand Shayfe making at this point. He only needs 1 more skill, or 2 more if the first one's grenade, and then he's in go mode, no matter what that skill is. So I think he just definitely wants to find it as quickly as he can.
Yeah, he can get into and up Ginso, which is one of the last trees left on this right side, and with a couple of glitches, he can almost definitely get to the grenade tree, which pretty much means his only worry is left side.
Yeah, which he cannot do. He has a powerful skill set, but he doesn't have Stomp. He doesn't have Bash. He doesn't have a left side TP. He doesn't even have Charge Dash, which some runners would consider a form of left side access with the Forlorn TP. He has none of these, so he definitely needs to find something. And all of these forms of left side access that Shayfe could want to find can be found with Sense. So it's definitely a smart play at this point. I think he's going to be heading up to Ginso, checking checks along the way. Any one of these could be the progression that he's looking for. But I would be very surprised to see him digging, see him digging in out of the way areas before he's done all the trees that he can access on this side of the map first.
Yeah, and we have seen from Shayfe both the Gumon seal from a mapstone and the Forlorn teleporter. That is a left side teleporter, but it's a little bit locked away behind some Baneling walls. He could still take it. Forlorn has quite a few pickups to check. Unfortunately, it does not have any trees, so it's not essential for this run. But if Shayfe wants, he could do Forlorn as a play.
And there's Climb. That's go mode for Shayfe. That's definitely go mode. That gives him grenade. Oh no, it's not. I'm sorry. He still doesn't have left side. It's go mode in terms of skills, but he still doesn't have left side access. Never mind.
That is, however, for him, both floor break, as we're about to see. You can charge jump off of walls to break most stomp floors as long as there's a wall nearby. As well as, that's wall interaction for him. He doesn't have to keep using double jump, which is definitely a relief if his hands are aching anywhere near as much as mine would be after doing this long of a seed with only double jump for wall interaction.
However, it's not only just wall interaction and floor break, it's not grenade jumps. I'm sorry, I'm confused today. I was about to say it's grenade jumps, but he doesn't have grenade. Still nice skill though.
We all in the community love grenade jumps. It's a very, very fast movement tech. This seed is grenade starved, so grenade might show up very, very late in logic. But again, if we find it, that'll be very, very fast of a movement tech for Shayfe. He knows how to pull them off. We know how to watch them and just like giggle and clap as they just zoom through the world.
Anyway, we've been talking about Shayfe a lot. Apple has definitely been playing well as well. She's cleared out Grotto, found a lot of stuff that Shayfe has, including the Mapstone 2 turn-in, which was Gumon Seal, and she has collected her double jump tree. She does not have Water Vein, so I'm curious to see where she goes next. She's going to Forlorn. If there is a powerful skill in here, maybe Dash, maybe Bash, then this could definitely help her make up some time on Shayfe, who is in a comfortable lead right now. She's also on 3 keystones compared to Shayfe's 7, so she might do a quick key dupe in here. This is one of the fastest key dupe spots in the game, and would definitely be a heads-up play.
Yeah, if the intended left side access for this seed does turn out to be in Forlorn, it's unlikely that Shayfe will come here early, as well, Forlorn is a bit of a meme. There's no real reason to come here unless you need to or are trying to make a play to find something early like Apple is. If that play pulls out for her, we'll absolutely see the dynamics of this race totally shift.
Meanwhile, Shayfe has killed a mini-boss. It's not the quickest mini-boss kill that exists in Rando, but he still made short work of it. As we expected, he's still checking pickups as he's ascending up here. And there's Stomp, that's left side access. I think he's in go mode now. I would be surprised to see him check much. He can zombie up through Valley Entry and zombie into Sorrow. I don't think he has much reason to check other stuff right now.
Yeah, and that does mean that Appietree's play probably isn't going to pan out. She can still find something like Bash or Dash, which will be monumental. But we do know that left side access is elsewhere, particularly in the Ginso tree.
There's one restored, which would be nice if Apple had Glide, which she hasn't picked up yet.
Ooh, something interesting to note that I kind of just thought. Stomp was in Ginso tree, and Water Vein was behind a stompable floor.
Yeah, but Climate Sea Jump also has access to that.
Yeah, that means unless Apple does go back for the redirect, the only way she'll be able to get that floor is by finding Climb herself.
That's
and
true.
Then heading back there. Interesting.
And there's Dash.
Ooh.
Forlorn was the play. This is definitely going to speed up Apple's movement. Let's see. I think this will definitely help her make up some ground, but Shayfe is definitely in the lead. I think he has a 2-tree vantage at this point. Or is it 1? No, he has a 1-tree vantage at this point. And he is definitely in go mode, which Apple is not, because she still does not have left side access. As good as Dash is, it does not grant her that, unless she wants to do some very questionable Spainling strats. Yeah, so Dash will make her movement faster. And she is definitely going to catch up some. We'll see if it's going to be enough. Definitely going to be a tight race, I think.
Yeah. Well, we know Shayfe's left side access was Stomp in the Ginso tree. There could still be something elsewhere, like a Valley TP or Sorrow TP or Bash. Those would all work to allow Apple to get into the left side as well, without having to find the water vein after a probably long search, considering that she orphaned that pickup a little bit. And it would help her catch back up some ground, making it to the left side quicker.
On the right, we can see while Shayfe is doing an impressive wheel through a spinning, an impressive jump through a spinning laser wheel, Apple is doing a very impressive trick we call the reverse Frankie walk. Luring this Frankie over here, taking extra care to not get it to jump into any spikes so that it can stomp this floor over here, which Shayfe could access much easier by just using Stomp. However, Apple is going to have Dash, so she's not going to have to zombie down here.
Yeah, in the vanilla game, this area is supposed to be done with Stomp and Dash, and between our runners we have both, but only Apple has Dash and only Shayfe has Stomp. So we are seeing different strats come out from both runners and really interesting ways to get into this grenade tree a little bit before logic would really say you should.
Yeah, but the generally smart play in the rando is just to go for trees when you can, so I'm not surprised from either our runners, who are very experienced at the rando, to be employing the strats that they are and just aggressively going for any tree that they can get in any fashion. And as we can see, Shayfe is heading towards the left side now. He is still checking pickups. I wonder what he's hoping for.
Yeah, we can never know a runner's state of mind until we get to interview them after the race if they want to. But he does have quite a bit to maneuver, unless there are a bunch of spikes that he can't glide up. And while Sorrow will be able to go right up for free, he doesn't have Wind Restored, and that'll mean Valley is potentially a bit tricky for him. So maybe he's looking for something to clear out that.
I think he wouldn't mind getting like Bash or something, but he'll just probably take lots more ability cells either, so he can zombie. Somewhat notably, we've seen our runners collect 6 trees now, Apple, and she still hasn't seen the water vein clue. This is really bad. This means that the water vein clue is clue number 9. So she's going to check. So she's going to have to get all other trees that are not the Bash tree inside of the Ginso tree before she even knows where she has to look for it. This could definitely be rough for her.
Yeah, especially if she doesn't find any left side access outside of the Ginso tree. That means she won't even be able to get that hint, and she will just be blind searching for any form of progression. Let's hope that she does manage to find an alternative form of left side, or as she goes back into the swamp area, that she tries that redirect. She's not going to for now, but not grenade redirect, sea flame redirect, my bad. But she is checking more pickups in this swamp loop, trying to find her way through the rest of the seed.
Yeah. Our truck has just pointed out, and it's a very good point, one thing that is going to be quite tricky for Shayfe actually, is he's going to have to somehow get to the Kuro rocks to break them, which is not trivial with the skill set. He doesn't have Bash, he doesn't have rocket jumps, he doesn't have wind. I'm very curious to see what he's going to do.
Yeah, there are definitely ways to get it that an experienced runner like Shayfe might be aware of, such as redirecting the spider shot to do a variant on fast stompless. But it is very, very difficult. And Shayfe
That's
not
a
finding
huge number of experience that he just picked up there. in the right side of Valley, 531. I think that definitely tells us that Bash is very, very late in logic, and that maybe Stomp is the only available left side access for our runners, which would be brutal, just brutal for Apple.
Yeah, we are seeing Shayfe go for a strat which involves stomping on these birds in order to get his jumps back. The birds are very, very precise, and as we can see, they are jerks. They do not want to line up with you all the time. And that
this is brutal. Shayfe has leveled up to triple jump. I don't think he would be able to do this without, but even with triple jump, this is not easy, if it's doable at all. I know that it's doable with quad jump. I've never seen it done with triple jump. So we'll see if he ends up sticking with it and eventually persevering, or if he nearly makes it up. That was a good try. Or if he ends up leaving and searching for more skills. It looks like he's leaving. This could be a big time loss for Shayfe.
And I don't blame him. With the skills he has, breaking that rock platform is beyond difficult. And even attempting that from him was incredibly cool to see. But he will be moving on, looking for something else. We do know that Dash is down in Forlorn if he decides to make that play. But on Apple's side, she did go and find Climb, which means if she wants, she can go back into Stump and find that water main pickup. However, she doesn't know that that is the pickup she needs. And it might unfortunately be a while before she manages to go back there and get it.
Yeah, and Shayfe is back on the right side. He knows that that this is not enough. He still needs something. And is he heading back? No, he's doing Outer Swamp Loop. I'm not 100% sure if Apple did these checks already, but I think she did, and I don't think there's anything here. This could get spicy, because if Apple manages to find Stomp, big if, because she does have to go back, then if she gets to that point, she has Wind Restore. She can just glide up there. It's going to be very easy for her, and it might be a while before Shayfe finds that.
Yeah, that Forlorn play might actually work out very well for Apple, depending on how long it takes Shayfe to get down there, because that is Dash and Wind Restored, two pickups that Apple has, Shayfe does not, and those both make it quite a bit easier to get around and up that death trigger area before getting Glide.
I like this routing from Shayfe. He's going back into Swamp and not doing the Swamp Zone. Okay. Well, I still like this routing. This is a fairly dense area that he hadn't checked before because it wasn't on the way to any tree. I think he's going to go to Hollow Grove next, the Spider Stack area. We've already seen Apple check that as well. There's nothing there. I think there might just be nothing on the right side except for that Stomp and maybe a teleporter hidden somewhere, and everything else might just be on the left side. We'll see.
Yeah, the mid-game of the seed is just turning out to just kind of not be nice in the slightest. Both of our runners together would probably have enough to make it up, but with Shayfe not having gone to Forlorn and Apple not having gone to Ginso, they're just looking for each other's skills right now, or something else, just hoping that it'll be enough to get them through this just massive roadblock that's currently keeping them stuck in the seed.
Hey Turtle, do you know what's in logic? Mount Horu is in logic. Stomp breaks the green wall, charge jump glide gets you across Horu Fields, and they have the Sunstone.
Oh boy. You are absolutely right. It's not even the worst play, because if our runners go over to Horu, they can unlock the teleporter there for later. But it is very, very scary, as the Horu has a lot of instant death. Not all of the rooms are even accessible, and the ones that are difficult as heck. So
yeah,
logic turns out to be there.
And you have to do and it's a very non-dense area. There's a fair number of checks in there, but you have to do a room puzzle for most of them. And each room takes like Takes like between a minute to 3 minutes. So it's definitely not a prime area to go if you want to check lots of pickups fast. But sometimes that's just where the randomizer says that's where progression is, and you just have to go there and get it.
Yeah. Another area that we haven't seen is lower Blackroot, where Apple was. Unfortunately, without Grenade, can't make it much further in, and so does back out without finding anything too important. But it was definitely a good idea to check down there, just in case. However, we know that her progression is probably going to be Water Vein in a very, very difficult location in Swamp.
And I think Shayfe has heard the call of Mount Horu. Like you said, not a bad play. Not one that you really want to be doing all that much, but you have to come over here at some point, and you're not losing that much time. If you go over here, get the teleporter, and then find something useful in the pickups around the teleporter, it's really only once you have to start checking the rooms in Horu that it starts getting a little dicey. Yeah. Apple checking the left pickup in Grotto that everybody elects to skip on their first time through, and it's nothing. I think she's going to go ahead down and check the mini boss as well. We already saw Shayfe check that one. There's nothing to be found there as well. This seed is turning out to be more starved than I think either of us would have suspected, given the abundance of skills they found in the early game.
Yeah, like they have charge jump, they have double jump,
There's Bash. Never mind.
Glide. Oh boy. Yeah, Bash is the third power skill, and very, 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 very strong. And now it's in Shayfe's arsenal. He looks like he's going to grab the teleporter to Horu while he's already here. But with
definitely a smart play. I've definitely found something important in Horu Fields and been so excited that I've alt R'd on reflex and had to cross later again. Good on him for remembering that it's quicker to go into Horu now, pick up the teleporter.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we see Apple going back to Forlorn. She might be attempting the escape, maybe looking for the locations of Stomp and Grenade at the end. There is a plant that'll give our runners a hint as to where those are. She'll know that Stomp is in Ginso then. And, well, we don't know where Grenade is either, so we'll be waiting along with her to see where it might be. Meanwhile, Shayfe with Bash is immediately going back into Valley.
Yeah, and this is Shayfe firmly in the driver's seat. He can do everything that the seed is going to ask of him. Sorrow is going to be a breeze with Glide. He can break the ceiling with Climb, Charge, Jump. Meanwhile, Apple is going to do the Forlorn Escape, which is always a treat to see, but it's not going to tell her what she wants to know. It will tell her where Grenade is, but Grenade doesn't give her left side access. Only Stomp does that, and Stomp is locked behind the Water Vein, which she has orphaned in a very, very unlucky spot. It really came down. I think this race really comes down to that one Water Vein pickup.
Yeah, and actually, depending on how Apple views that one pickup by the Stomp tree, this could even be a little bit of a troll in the plant hint, as if she thinks that the Water Vein can't be Stomp locked, she might not think of that pickup, which seems to be Stomp locked, although you can, again, grab it with Charge Jump and Climb, which she does have now.
Shayfe is showing off some neat tech over here called Terror Break. What you do is you place a save using a save anywhere under a ceiling, and then die while charge jumping into spikes, and upon respawning, the charge jump hitbox persists around you for a few frames, enough to break the ceiling. Very good application of some useful tech, allowing him to get through there. He could have just used Climb, Charge, Jump, but I guess he wanted to show that off and wanted to get Ultra Defense along the way.
Ultra Defense will be very helpful, even with all that Shayfe has. Spikes still hurt, just they hurt a little bit less when you have Ultra Defense, and that'll allow him to be able to take some more damage boosts if he needs to get through areas like Misty later on.
Apple has finished the Forlorn Escape, and the hints that it gives her are not useful in the slightest. Stomp is in Ginso, as we know, and Grenade is in Misty. Neither of them are accessible to her right now, and that's gotta feel bad after you've put in the minute plus of time just to get that hint that it's not going to be anything that you can use. Meanwhile, Shayfe is firmly in the driver's seat. He has 1 tree remaining in Misty Woods, and he's flying down through Sorrow, using dangerous stomps. He has 2 trees. I apologize. He went up through Sorrow before grabbing Feather, but he's going to be grabbing this Feather over here, and then head into Misty, and then close out the seed. I don't think there's much of a chance for Apple to come back at this point. It all came down to that one water vein pickup that Shayfe checked out of logic and Apple didn't. That's just the way the rando goes sometimes.
Yeah, the logic for that was absolutely cruel. Having to find climb and charge jump both in order to grab that pickup. No chance you can stomp it because it locks stomp behind it. We are going to see Apple looking back towards this swamp area. It might do the swims. If she's lucky and remembers this stomp block pickup, she can go for that, and that will be the water vein in her progression, hopefully.
Shayfe not checking anything here. Would have been fun if he found grenade, but you can't blame him. He doesn't know it's in here. It would have given him grenade jumps, but I think, but on average, it's definitely the smarter play to just skip everything.
Yeah, there are a couple of required pickups, like the keystone we just saw.
Apple's going back. Apple's going for the water vein before doing the swim. This is great for her. I don't think it's going to be enough, but it's definitely good.
And
there
it is. Immediately alt Rs. That is progression for her, and she's just dashing, zipping towards the teleporter that will get her to the Genso tree. And on her way, she will be able to find Stomp, and then she'll be able to access her left side, as we've seen Shayfe do. Although he is now basically already at his 10th tree, meaning that Apple is now at almost at a 4-tree disadvantage. Despite having dash, that is a lot to make up.
Yeah. Shayfe is not going to find grenade jumps this seed. The grenade was not among the pickups that he had to collect in Misty. I think definitely a reasonable choice to skip stuff. He's heading over. Yeah, he got the horror teleporter earlier. Now he's just going to need to do 1 bout of violence or 1 door warp, and then it's the final escape. And this is not a difficult final escape. I don't think a runner of Shayfe's caliber is going to have any trouble with this one.
Yeah, he might not have bash, or sorry, not bash. He might not have dash or grenade, but since this escape was part of the vanilla game before they added those 2 pickups, it's intended for you to be able to beat it without them. He also doesn't have wall jump, but like, come on, he has climb, he has double jump, he has a bunch of other ways to mess around with walls, so he will easily be able to do this. And choosing violence.
For all we know, wall jump might even be on the final escape. We'll see.
I hope so. That would be what a treat for Shayfe to end this seed, to find wall jump.
What does Kuro have for us today? Let's see.
Kuro, please give us your gift of wall jump. Please. And it is...
It's the Valley teleporter!
Oh my god!
That's even better.
The left side access that we needed all seed was hiding behind Kuro all along. Oh, all that trouble that Shayfe went through to try and get past her cutscene, past her kill plane, and she was just holding Valley teleporter. Oh wow, birds are jerks. Oh goodness.
Yeah, but as we predicted, Shayfe not having any trouble whatsoever with his final escape, not taking any damage yet. Now he's down through the S-bend. Glide makes this part super easy, and now he's bashing off a couple of fishes, and he's into the final room. Just going to charge, jump off, skipping the Kuro spawn in the final room, so there's no danger here. And now he's jumping off. 1 bash, 2 bash, 3 bash, and he's out. GG. Well played by Shayfe. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Appietreee is finding her stomp, getting over to this bash tree, And with that, she'll only have her left side left, but all Shayfe has to do is hold a single button as he watches this slightly interactive cutscene to finish out his seed. Interestingly, Apple is going to continue searching through Ginso, perhaps looking for a different way to get to the left side. Even though she does have dash, she's missing bash, which as we know is in Horu Fields, but that's still a pretty powerful skill to let her into the left side that she might really, really want.
There's still the Sora teleporter as a form of left side access, which we have not seen yet. So that might just be up here. Shayfe checked these pickups. Apple's going to appreciate that charge dash efficiency. But if the Sora TP is near in Ginso, it's going to be even higher up, and Apple says Apple is leaving after this, and I think she's heading left too. She has to do some damage boosting to get up Valley, but it's not going to be that bad. Meanwhile, Shayfe finishing up with a time of 45-46. GG, well played. That was not an easy seed.
Not in the slightest, but Shayfe still made his way through it, and with the Valley teleporter in his possession from the very end, as well as everything else he picked up through the run, he will be able to complete this seed and win this race. Apple looks like she clipped into this cutscene just a little bit. That can be very annoying because, while you can skip part of it, Sign really likes to show off the world map, as we are seeing. Oh, yay, look, there's the Ginso tree, there's Forlorn. Thanks, Sign. We as speedrunners know all of this already, and thank you, Sign. You're very relevant. We promise.
Yeah, Apple just breezing past everything here. I don't think she's going to need to check any more pickups. She has a lot of ability cells. She said she doesn't want to do a zombie, but she can just get ultra defense and damage boost up there normally. So I don't think this part is going to be an issue. And once she gets up to the part that gave Shayfe trouble earlier, she can just use Glide Wind Restored to float up for free.
In addition, she also does have dash, something that Shayfe didn't, which will give her rocket jumps if she wants to use an enemy to just fly up some of these areas. That can be really helpful with the spiders especially. As well as she just did level up Ultra Defense, which can be very, very nice for taking damage boosts from these spikes, as we are about to see.
And she's through first try. No problem.
With a great rocket jump to save her. Thanks to that slime, just letting her just zip right up without having to touch any more spike walls. Whoop! Yeah, on the replay there we see it. Great work.
And we see the winner of this race, Shayfe, is on deck, and he's going to be joining us for an interview shortly.
There
Hello,
he is.
Shayfe. GG.
Thank you.
That was a very fun seed to watch.
That sure was a seed. Where was Dash?
Forlorn.
Yeah, that clean water location and breaking into the swamp early to get both of the keys. I was like, Dash is probably in Forlorn, but I didn't want to go for it because I had a skill set to finish everything on the right side.
Yeah.
And then I kind of figured, okay, well, if it's somewhere obnoxious like right side Forlorn or on the wind escape, then I'm probably going to blow like 2 or 3 minutes digging for it. Is it really worth going for that versus just seeing if there's something in Horu? And then found Bash and I was like, okay, well, this is my go mode, so.
Yeah. One thing I want to ask you about is when you found those 2 dungeon keys in very short succession, especially the water vein, which you found via sequence break. What did you think after finding both dungeon keys without having a clue for either of them. What were your thoughts at that moment?
Panic. I was like, okay.
Relatable, definitely relatable.
I wondered what I missed, and after I thought about it for a while, I knew it had to be Dash, and I was very indecisive about how I wanted to play it, because if Bash ended up being in the Ginzo tree, then it didn't really make sense to go to Forlorn, because it would have been right on my way. So I'm not really all that happy with how I played that. My execution was sloppy at the beginning. My routing was questionable. It kind of panned out because of the dungeon keys, but yeah, it was rough. And seeing them both right there, especially with Stomp, which, like, with Stomp, Charge, Jump, and Glide, I mean, you got your Horu access right there, right? So it's like, okay, well, now where's the skill? Is it in Horu or is it in Forlorn? So, it opened up in a real hurry, and it became kind of hard to decide what to do and where to go. And, you know, fortunately, like I said, Bash was in Horu Fields, and I made a read that paid off at least. And if I didn't find anything in the first 4 pickups in Horu, I was probably going to Forlorn to see if I could get Dash.
Yeah, makes sense. We were wondering, there's one, when you were struggling a little with getting to the Kuro Rocks, we were wondering if you were considering at all the Charge Jump Hyperspeed to
Totally forgot about
the
it.
kill plane. Yeah,
Totally forgot
that's what
about
we thought.
Yep. it's not a piece of tech I use very often, so it wasn't in my mindset, and I was kind of thinking, like, what would Baron do, or Sirius? And I was thinking, yeah, Bird Stomp seemed like a viable option, so I tried to give that a couple tries.
Yeah, it's definitely doable. I've done it with Quad Jump, though, only. You only have
jump, once I missed that
tight.
ledge with Triple, I was like, I probably need Quad for this.
Yeah. Well, it was very, very fun to see. And something else I do really, really want to ask you. The most important pickup of that seed. What were your thoughts about finding Valley TP at the final escape?
Oh my god. The whole reason that I spec'd into Spirit Light Efficiency in the first place was I had a feeling it was going to be a dig for left side, and sure enough it was. And so I alluded to earlier, if I didn't find anything in the Horu, I was going to go to Forlorn. That's when I would have picked up Sense as well. Yeah, just so I could, like, fast clear everything and then see if I could find a pickup. But, man, Valley TP. Good lord. Come on, man. Like, I do all of that. Thanks, Kuro. I appreciate it.
Apple actually did the Forlorn escape because she missed Water Vein on the first go through Swamp.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, really rough. She actually did the Forlorn escape and couldn't do anything with anything because Stomp was Water Vein locked in Ginso, and Grenade was in Misty on the 3rd Keystone. So, you know.
Geez. Yeah, Climb came after that for me as well, and if she routed anything similar to what I did, it would have been the same for her. She would have needed to do the C-Flame redirect.
Yeah.
So that's rough, and yeah, I'm sorry that happened to her. That's really bad.
With Dash, she is making her way, after getting her 10th tree, zooming her way through Horu Fields to get to the final escape of her own. She doesn't have Bash, but she does have Dash. There's a slight skill difference. We might see some slightly different strats in execution, as Appietreee does finish up her final escape.
Yeah, if she's got triple jump, it shouldn't be a big concern with Dash and Clean Water, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to have trouble with this escape. Going for Door Warp, let's see, and she gets the first try, very well. Very well done.
I was too late, and I knew I was too late every single attempt, and nerves were getting to me, and I was like, screw this, I'm going to murder the thing.
Yeah. Very respectable choice.
We all love violence here, absolutely.
Yeah. Who doesn't love a little murder?
One final question, then we'll be letting you go. With this win, you're through to round 4 of the upper bracket, and you'll be facing the winner of the match between Trojan Dude and Guard. How are you feeling about that match? Any thoughts on that? And yeah, how are you feeling about the tournament in general so far?
Definitely nice to get 2 wins under my belt here. Nowhere in the bracket is safe. So, regardless of what the result is between Trojan or Guard, I'm going to be up against a solid opponent. And Trojan obviously is better than the randomizer. Guard has picked up a lot very quickly, and that's still best of 1 too. So like, very, very possible that I get knocked down into the lower bracket there. Like I said off the hop, I don't like the way my execution was today. Routing for a seed like this, I'm like, okay, whatever. But taking that death and getting back to sign just set me off for the rest of the race, and I can't take a death like that in fake flippers. So I'm definitely gonna have to shore up the practice, because no matter who I face, it's gonna be a battle, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you played very well after you got over the initial nerves, the seed. So I definitely think you should have good chances.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, Apple has finished out her final escape, clocking in just a little over 10 minutes behind Shayfe. Given how she orphaned that water vein, got a little randoed on that one. That's definitely a very respectable time, and we've seen lots of very good plays from her. So definitely GG on her part. We'll see if she wants to do an interview. It's always up to the runners afterwards if they want to talk with us, or if they maybe just want to decompress on their own. We'll see.
Yeah, even with this loss in this unfortunate seed, Apple still showing off some great execution, especially with Dash using rocket jumps to do phenomenal things and get through this final escape like she did. She will be going down to the losers bracket, so we will be seeing more of her in this tournament, luckily, as she faces off later against the winner of Sunny Muffin and Rufus.
Yeah, and Apple finishing out with a time of 56:23. Definitely just still a very respectable time for a seed that had left side access so buried as this one. We've also received word that the Sorrow teleporter was not on the right side either, so it really was stomp or nothing.
Oh, good lord, where
for
was
our
it?
runners. Misty Keystone 4.
What a seed, dude!
Yeah, so rude. So rude.
And we see that Appietreee is on deck as well, so let's just pull her in for a quick interview and hear her thoughts on the seed. Hey Apple, GG.
AGG.
Thank you. GG to you, Shayfe.
Thank you.
How are you feeling after that seed?
Okay. I did some spaghetti and some questionable routing choices, but
You still executed very, very well. First off, I think the question that we're all wanting to ask, what was going through your head first when you found Sunstone, and second when you went back to the stomp tree and found a water vein right nearby?
yeah, that was next to it, wasn't it? I had forgotten that the sunstone had been there when I found the water vein. I don't know, I thought I was pretty good finding that sunstone in that moment. Sucks that water vein was next to it, but oh well. Yeah, no, I was just glad in that moment that I hadn't decided to do the swamp swim first. So yeah, that was the only thing really going through my mind. I was still kind of kicking myself because I had forgotten that I had glide and could do the forlorn escape and find out where Stomp was, and hopefully, which well didn't happen in that case, but hopefully find left side access with that.
Yeah, that water vein was kind of required, and there was no way of actually getting the clue where it was, because Stomp was the only way to get to the left side. All other forms of... That's not quite true. Bash was also on the right side, but in an inconvenient location.
Bash?
But Horu Field's energy cell,
okay.
or Plat, I don't know, one of the two. But all the left side teleporters were either on the left side or on the final escape.
On the final escape, yeah, I like that one.
What a place. What a place.
Sorrow TP was Misty Keystone 4, apparently, so...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nobody was ever going to find that.
Nope, mandatory Horu Fields, pretty much. Or damage boosting.
Yeah. Turtle, do you have any questions for Apple?
Yeah, I think I do. So Apple, take us through what was going through your mind when you chose to go to Forlorn to dig for something, and what you thought once you found Dash down there?
Well, I had done all the right side trees I could get at that point without doing dumb skips. So I was thinking, sure, I could do like Grove and all that stuff, but it's might be kind of a power play to go to Forlorn if there is something there. And with both the Gumon Seal and the TP actually being super close together, I thought there could be something there. It was eventually, and I felt pretty good about that dash. But then, of course, I had to do everything else in the end, so it didn't really change much. Yeah, I don't know. I think if it had been a different seed, it might have been more of a power play. I assume Shayfe probably went there at some point as well.
Nope, I
Shayfe
bypassed
did
it
actually
entirely.
not.
Oh,
He-
okay.
Shayfe found Water Vein on first go by doing a Charge Flame redirect to open that pickup, which is, I think, what really decided the race in the end. You had Dash, which allowed you to catch up a little on his execution, but having to revisit Swamp Tree really ended up costing you. Just kind of unfortunate how that happened.
It happens. Rando happens.
Yeah. And you're not out of the tournament yet. You're dropping down to the lower bracket. You're going to be facing the winner of Sunny Muffin versus Rufus, which is going to happen, I think, tomorrow. How are you feeling about that? And what are your thoughts on how the tournament is going to go forward after this for you?
Well, I'm hoping to be the last girl standing now. I'm definitely the girl who so far has got the furthest. I don't know. Graham has been rubbing off on me in that regard, I think. Yeah, I think for the next match at least, I think I have a chance of getting further. I'm not sure about after that. We'll see. It all depends on how the rando is feeling that day, I think.
Yeah. The rando is... Sometimes the rando just decide that it's going to win the seed, and neither of the players have anything to say about it. So.
Indeed.
We will be able to see the rando versus the players coming up once later today. That'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern with Grimelios versus Sloters on SpeedGaming 1. And then we got 3 matches for you tomorrow on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on SpeedGaming 3, this channel. And then 3 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Eastern. We don't know what channels those will be, but Wesper versus Terra, Liftoff versus Jay Halcyon, and Jamal versus Henry will all be more great matches to watch.
Yeah. And I think that's us done. We would like to thank Poogle and Guard in the truck helping us keep track of everything behind the scenes, Fox for handling the restream, and of course all of you lovely viewers out there who have tuned in to watch this match. Thank you for joining us, and make sure to tune in later tonight on SpeedGaming 1 for more Ori Rando. See you there. Have a good one. And thanks, Turtle, for commentating with me.
Thank you too, Liftoff. Bye-bye, everyone.